Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Yes, this is the Princess Amarachi show. Today's conversation is something that is quite recent, and I really want to share this because I want it to enlighten a lot of people and also want to hear people's thoughts and views on it. As many of you may not know, I put to bed recently. Yeah, that's the noise. That's the sound. I put to bed recently. I had quite some experiences in my pregnancy journey as a first-time mom, and I want to share those experiences with you so that I can get your thoughts and views on that as well. So as a first-time mom, there were things that I was expecting to hear from my doctors and nurses, saying that they were the ones that I trusted to guide me through that journey, but I got those information from outside sources. When I mean parents, grandparents, neighbors, they were the ones who were asking me those questions, and I'm like, okay, my doctor and nurse has not said this. How do I confirm this? I go online too. I do my research, and I find out that okay, this is actually very important. So why is it that this doctor or this nurse is not saying this? And I'm putting this out here so that I want to know if this was peculiar to the hospital that I registered in, or is it peculiar to, the country, Nigeria, or are there exceptions? I want to know from other first-time moms here, or people who have lived with people who have been pregnant. I want to know from doctors and nurses, if that is the case everywhere, why these things were not pushed as much as drugs were being pushed on us, as pregnant women. So I want to hear your thoughts and views on all of this in the comment section. Let me know, and also let's have that conversation and let everyone be educated properly and rightly. Yeah, so one of the things that I didn't hear from my doctor, I didn't hear from my nurse, is the importance of exercise for a pregnant woman. Before I got pregnant, I was quite active. When I mean active, I used to do exercise, not like gym exercise, indoor exercise, because I was working remotely. So I sit a lot. My job is a sitting job, and I needed to be active so that my muscles and bones will also remain active. So, but when I got pregnant, for the first 3 months, I couldn't move. It was the first trimester was awesome. That's just the way to describe it. And I couldn't wait to be very active again because my legs were becoming heavy, and all that. So I was thinking that, okay, when I begin my antenatal classes, I would find ways to incorporate exercise into my daily routine, so that I can be more strengthened, because I was very weak. I looked like after the first trimester, and it was making me kind of lazy to start my exercise. So I was looking for those sorts of encouragement from the people, that's the doctors and the nurses in the hospital. But I didn't get it. So I was just so calm about it. I said, okay, maybe it's not really that important. I should just take care of my baby. And I understand, let me put this as a disclaimer. I understand that there are people who, based on the nature of their body or in the nature of their pregnancy, they are medically recommended not to really engage in any exercise except the one that the doctor actually says they should do. So those cases are the exceptions to whatever it is I'm saying. I am not saying it's for everybody, but based on my research, I found out that a pregnant woman is not cut out from exercising. Like, you're not sick, you're not incapacitated. You can move around. You can actively, intentionally engage in some exercises. In fact, there are specific exercises that you should be engaging in for your baby, for yourself, for your pelvic muscles, for your hip, for your legs, for your bones, for even to induce labor and even to help you deliver smoothly and safely. I saw these things, and there were questions that were burning in my heart. Every time I go for antenatal classes, I don't get them. I just get things around, you take your drugs, how are you feeling as the baby, and all that. Nobody asked me what kind of job I did, how long I sat, if I move around, And I felt it was even supposed to be part of the antenatal class. There should be a session, there should be a moment where you encourage the pregnant women, or even if it's a private consultation, you encourage this person to walk. You can even encourage the person to walk to the hospital if the office or the house of the person is closer to the hospital. Encourage the person to take the stairs instead of any other means that they normally do to walk. Encourage the person to walk around. Especially, what I'm saying is there should have been a conscious, an intentional process from the hospital to know what I do, one, and also to know how I incorporate exercise in my daily routine as a pregnant woman. Up until I put to bed, it was not something that came up. It was not something. I was just the one that was asking, isn't this supposed to be? And even the response was not like, oh, it was like, if you wish. But I engage in exercise regardless, because my parents, that's my mom and my grandparents, they were the ones that normally call me and they ask me, like, do you move around? You stay at home, you work from home. Do you move around? Try and engage in brisk walks. And that really made me want to research. I did quite a number of research, and I found out that there are exercises for pregnant women at different stages of their pregnancy. And I am not lying. I'm not really trying to promote what I didn't experience. I exercised, and I can tell you, I always felt better after doing the exercises. I wish I had all the videos recorded at that moment to show you. It was not a fun thing. Yes, exercising with a heavy stomach and with little pain here and there, or tiredness, when you wake up, is not really a fun thing. But I find a way around it, exercising mostly during the evenings when I'm really done with work and my feet hurt from sitting for quite a while. I take walks and all that. And I always feel stronger, strengthened, after it aided my last trimesters. It aided me anywhere. I was smarter while working. I was smarter, in things I did, because I really wanted to be an active pregnant woman. I didn't want to be like a sickly one. And I can say that exercise helped me. It's helped my delivery process. It's also helped, in fact, let me just read the importance of exercise based on the research that I made. One of the importance of exercise that I found that for pregnant women, this can also apply for everyone, but I'm talking for the pregnancy period, is that it helps strengthen your bone and your muscle. And if you're pregnant, you understand that your bones and your muscles, they can show you shaggy. Like, you're just feeling tired most times. Your joints are somewhere here. Today they are active, tomorrow they are not. You can't squat for certain reasons and all that. But when you try to strengthen them, and I'm not saying there are levels to this, there is a level of intensity that you need to apply. So what I was expecting was, okay, a guidance from these medical practitioners on, okay, this is registered in this place. This person is experienced in helping pregnant women to exercise the proper way, or engaging us in during the antenatal consultations, on the best way to do it, because there are actually different ways you can incorporate exercises or intensity of exercises for you because of you're pregnant. And because it helps your bone and muscles, everything is not about consuming calcium and routine drugs. You can actually strengthen your bone and your muscles through exercise and what you eat. Another importance of exercise I found is that it builds your endurance. Naturally, exercise builds your endurance, your strength, your ability to take in pain. There are exercises they call strengthening or muscle training exercise. And if you agree with me, pregnancy is all about endurance. It's an endurance training. There are a lot of things you have to endure. Each trimester has a shocking revelation. Like, your hormones are high, your emotions are up. The pains come in different dimensions. And if you don't enjoy enough, you just see that most times you just seem as if you're the only one who has never been pregnant in this world. I'm making exceptions for people who really go through complications and who their story is different. Their body system is different. Like, they have things that are quite painful. I am not saying that you are to be overlooked. What I'm saying is, all things being equal, exercise helps you endure, go through that endurance, training on whatever it is that comes up during your pregnancy journey. And you agree with me too, if you're pregnant watching this video, that the delivery process is no beans. And it is one of endurance, where they're asking you to push when you don't want to push. They're asking you to breathe when you don't want to breathe, walk when you don't want to walk, sit down when you don't want to sit down. A lot of things. And it's exercise can just help you take in those pain so that you can deliver safely and smoothly. Now, the last one, but not the least, this one is actually an aftermath that I saw after I put to bed, and that's that it helps your child. It helps your child's motor and development skills. I didn't know about that. I just had to research it based on the things I saw on my child. She's quite hyperactive and responding in different ways that people found shocking for someone in her birth month. And I needed to know why. And I researched and found out that, okay, research has said that if you did certain kinds of exercise during your pregnancy period, it can help your child respond in these ways when they grow up. And up until their first and second year, their motor skills, which includes running, walking, and all that, those things are there online. It's not like they are hidden. So it was a shock to me why it was not pushed in my own time the way other things were being done. So I want to know, if you had ever given birth and you registered in a hospital, tell me, what was your antenatal classes like? Was exercise really stressed? Was it something that was incorporated? Was it something that they ensured that you engaged in? I would like to know. And if you're a doctor or a nurse here, or you're a midwife, tell me, what do you tell people about exercise, pregnant women about exercise, especially when their medical history does not prove that they cannot exercise? I would really like to know about this, because I can remember when my grandma, she used to engage pregnant women in exercises just so that they can be fit. So those thoughts came to me when I was pregnant, and I felt like, okay, there is something missing somewhere. It's either this works or it doesn't work. So another thing that I wish I knew when I was pregnant also, that I got to know, was that you have to choose what you see and what you hear. When you get pregnant, especially if it is your first time, I hope you got that sound. When you get pregnant, especially if it is your first time, advice will come from all sorts. People inside the vehicle will advise you. Passengers will advise you. The driver will advise you. Your colleagues will advise you. People on the road will advise you. Your parents will advise you. Your grandparents will advise you. In-laws will advise you. Siblings will advise you. Like, you will get recommendations, advice on what to eat, what not to eat. Drink this, don't drink it. Eat this, don't eat it. Sit down, don't sit down. Stand up, don't stand up. And if it's your first time, you're like, God, okay, which one? Which one is it? Which one do I follow? Internet will bombard you. Like, I talked about exercise, and that's to take that I got a lot of responses from a lot of people, and it took conscious, filtering for me to know what really works and what doesn't work. So you have to choose what you see and what you hear. I know most of these people are sharing these things in your best interest. They love you. They're excited for you. And most of this, they might have tried it and it worked for them. But you have to ask in the long run, what do I want to achieve and which one can I go for? Knowing that any choice you make, you're the one who's going to bear the consequence of the choices that you make. You can always text and ask your doctor, your nurse to verify anything. And lastly but not the least is to feast and feed on the word of God. Because when you get pregnant, it's just like if you get pregnant, stories about pregnancy starts to come around you. You begin to hear, this person put to bed, this person did not put to bed. This thing happened to this person, it didn't happen to this person. And any small thing, you go online and go and Google. I know it's about researching things online, but seriously, when you're researching things online as a pregnant person, be careful. Like, I don't know, I think you should just do it with a pinch of salt. Because Google can load things up for you. Oh, why am I feeling this slight dizziness? They will tell you that if you're feeling slight dizziness, just know that you're going to give birth premature. And you're like, hey, God, oh my Father, they're after me. Seriously. So you just have to feed and feast on the word of God to strengthen your faith and to give you sanity or sanity. I don't even know the right word, whether it's sanity, to make you sane, because a lot of things will be coming, and if you keep them, you might just run crazy and be under high tension and emotions as a pregnant woman, which is not good for you. So these are more were the things that I wish I knew as a first before even getting pregnant. And I really want to know what your thoughts are to each of these things. What has been your experience as a pregnant woman? What do you advise as a medical practitioner? And what has also been your experience as someone who had a sibling or a mother or a friend that was pregnant and went through some of these things? Your responses and comments, I await them, and we'll drive the conversations there. That's it for me on today's episode. Thank you so much for watching, and let's continue the conversation in the comments. But until then, see you. Bye.